Hi, and welcome. I think we're going to dive right in. So, thank you for joining us here today. I know it's already been a long day for some of us, but let's jump right into the conversation. We got a bit lucky because, talking about industrial innovation and AI, the EU did us a little bit of a favor by dropping this big report about industrial innovation. So let's start that with as a framework and talk a little bit about the European Commission's how to apply AI strategy to accelerate adoption. Very briefly, can you just summarize on a high level what that is and how that helps you, how that helps Qualcomm think about industrial adoption and what some of the key themes there are?
Thank you, Chris. I'm very excited to be with you here today at Adopt AI 2025. Adopt AI, Apply AI, almost similar. Apply AI is the European Commission strategy. It's about boosting AI across industries. They defined 11 verticals: manufacturing, healthcare, mobility, transportation, energy, and it's really about how to make AI real. How to bring AI to all these industries, because AI will transform the way we live, we operate, we work. And for Qualcomm, it's kind of like the perfect vehicle, because our DNA is about partnership and ecosystems, and we've always thought that AI to scale should be energy efficient. It's a combination of AI at the edge, what we call at the edge, like in auto, in smartphone, in PCs, in personal AI, in industrial AI, in robots, but it also will exist, and that's what's mostly known, in the data centers. So once you combine both, we call it hybrid AI, AI at the edge, AI in the cloud, in data center, seamlessly interacting through connectivity, 5G and future 6G. You have small language models that are specialized on the edge, large language models in the data center, and all combined together. So when we look at our technology platform, our ecosystem, and we look at that strategy of the European Commission, we see that at the right time, moving from creation of AI, which is training of models, to real applications, to the production of AI, which is what we call inferencing in jargon.
And so in that context, how does Qualcomm define AGI, and why is it so important to have it at the edge of that kind of system? Why does it need to be there versus off in the distance in a central cloud?
So first, it's not either or, it's edge and cloud. The advantage of edge is security, latency, real time. Like you're in your car, if you have your AI with you, you can take decisions real time. So latency, security, privacy, your data remain in the palm of your hand. A number of industrial use cases we've seen, they operate in an environment called air-gapped, no internet, no access to the external world, and you need to apply AI in there where the data is created. Chris, we shipped so far 4.3 billion AI-enabled chips. People don't know about that, but we are at that stage in smartphones, in PCs, in automotive. We have partnerships across Europe. We're going big in personal AI, in industrial AI, and in physical AI. So across the board, we believe that in order to scale intelligence everywhere and to everyone, in order to keep that scaling energy efficient, which is super important in AI, and to respond to some of the industrial use cases, we need AI at the edge, as well as in the data centers.
You've mentioned a few sectors within industrial. Obviously,
Yeah.
Industrial is a massive spectrum there, but are there ones in particular that you see or Qualcomm sees in general where you expect this to have the most transformative impact in the near term?
We do. And I'll give you two examples I'm very excited about, and there are much more. Energy, oil and gas is one, and automotive is another. And I'm putting aside a bit of the consumer space, like the smart devices, smart glasses, PCs, smartphones, which are all impacted by AI, in which we are contributing. So oil and gas and energy, we've worked very intensively over the last year with Aramco. And right now we are improving energy production, oil and gas production, reducing costs, improving safety of workers. It's because we're bringing AI to where the data is created and we're taking real-time decisions, again, in a very private, secure environment. In automotive, think about it this way. We have great partnerships, by the way, here in France with Stellantis and Renault, across Europe, BMW, Volkswagen, and others. But think about it this way. Your car can see what you see with all the cameras, can really take real time, and you have AI in the car, you can engage with the car. It's your new user interface. Your hands, you can't use them to tap, so it's a voice interface, plus AI understanding what you're saying and acting on what you're saying, while taking all the sensors data and camera data. And that's very transformative. You will see AI in automotive changing everything we know today in the digital cockpit.
When we're going through a transformation like this, of course, we're talking about the technology, the capabilities, but also that means thinking differently about the partnerships, the ecosystems, how you think about the way you relate to other people, who you work with. So from Qualcomm's perspective, what are the partnerships that matter? How are you thinking about that, and why does that matter in terms of being able to scale some of these things across Europe, across industry, to achieve what you want to achieve with some of these programs?
That's a great question, Chris, and I would say our DNA, our real DNA is about partnership and ecosystem. Some people would say about it like, hey, we're right to partner. But we strongly believe, and since the creation of Qualcomm, which was in the standard of wireless technology, like when you look at 3G, 4G, 5G, there's no one company that can do it all in a transformative way, in a scalable way. You need to work with OEMs that do devices, do cars, do industrial robots. You need to work with governments to set the right rules, to get trust of the users. And you need, most importantly, and that's something very important, you see a lot of big companies that are important because they are shapers of markets, especially with new technologies. You need to work with startups. Because startups understand local challenges and they bring this new blood to the ecosystem. So I would argue, build horizontal platforms, get everybody on board, big and small companies, get the government to really be like, what's the roadmap, what's important for citizens, because that's where what really counts for them. Don't over-regulate, because that would stifle innovation, but set the right tools. And then again, when we speak about ecosystem, make sure ecosystems are open. Because you don't want a closed walled garden. You want users to switch from one platform to another freely, and that creates more competition, more innovation.
So staying with that theme a little bit, one new area that Qualcomm has gotten into then is data centers.
Yep.
So again, obviously you're not building data centers yourself, as far as I know, but why did you get into that? What is the opportunity there? And then how are you working in that sector? What is the value that you saw that Qualcomm can bring there in terms of this moment and with AI?
Yeah, Chris, we announced our data center actually products last month with our first customer in Saudi Arabia called Humane. It's their AI champion. And it's our first entry in the data centers after we have been like really developing AI at the edge. Right now, with the industry at an inflection point, we're moving from, as I said, creation of AI to production of AI. Production is like AI everywhere, and that's inferencing. And when you look at it, what really counts is the perf per watt. It's the energy. This is where your OpEx will be. It's not just CapEx, it's OpEx. And you want to have the best TCO, what we call the total cost of ownership. And as Qualcomm, we specialized in high computing, low power. When you look at your smartphone, it has a small size. The performance has been increasing. GPU, CPU, NPU, all integrated, connected. We have never changed the format, and we've always kept your battery living for a day. As a user, you don't want to reduce it. So that's our DNA, and we do believe we can have the same kind of innovation and same kind of disruption in the data center. This is what we call the post-GPU era. We do believe in it. We believe we have a different architecture that will bring that benefit to the data center.
And so you see a direct line between, you mentioned this before, it's not the edge or the data center, but there's a link there between the two in terms of dealing with the inferencing costs, but also bringing that capability to the edge, kind of dealing with both of those parts of the continuum of the compute issue.
Absolutely, and it's real. It's shown, it's commercial. Think about it this way, I have a PC right now running a 7 billion parameter model completely offline on my PC. I can engage with my PC, right? Running AI continuously. Then I need a reasoning model, 100 billion or 1 trillion parameter, I go to the data center. If the question is more complicated, go to data center, otherwise I keep here. If the information I'm sharing is private and it's identified as private, remain on your PC. So it's like an orchestration. But what you will always notice is that you're sending less and less information to the back end, to the data centers, so you're way more cost efficient, energy efficient, because you're using what you have at the edge, the computing power. You don't take, if you say hello, you don't need to go to the data center, right? And what I would add is that you have a very strong connectivity in between. That's what we are building as 6G. 6G will be AI by design, AI native, and will be able to orchestrate the workloads between the edge and the cloud. You will see the first 6G pre-commercial in 2028. We're building that chips, and we hope to launch it soon in 2028.
Okay, speaking of efficient, that's all our time. So we'll stop there. Thank you very much, Wassim, for your time, and please give Wassim a big round of applause.
Thank you.